Welcome to this episode of Jam. I'm really happy you're here with me today. I know lately I've been slowing things down, just talking to everybody, no interviews, no guests, just, moments of reflection. And today's topic is one that really hits home for a lot of us, and that's knowing when it's time to move on and start a new chapter in your life. Sometimes we get used to our current situations, our jobs, our relationships, our daily routines, that we don't even realize that as people we've actually stopped growing. We might tell ourselves, I'm good, it's fine, I'm comfortable, everything's okay. But here's the thing: comfortable and fulfilled, they aren't the same thing. Sometimes fine is the biggest trap of all because it doesn't hurt enough to change, but it also doesn't inspire you to grow. And that's where a lot of us get stuck. We start telling ourselves that staying put is safer than taking a chance. But let's be honest. How many times have you looked back on your life and thought, man, I wish I would have moved sooner. I wish I would have did that sooner. I wish I would have stopped that sooner. Maybe you stayed in a job that drained you because it was just stable. Maybe you held on to a friendship that you had outgrown because it was familiar. Maybe you avoided taking that big leap, that move, that business idea, that relationship, because the unknown was just too intimidating. I've been there, and I've been there more than once. But what I've learned is staying still doesn't protect you from change. It just delays your growth. We hold on too tightly to the current vision of our life. We don't leave any space for the next thing to unfold. And sometimes, life gives us these gentle nudges or these gentle pushes or maybe even, not so gentle pushes to remind us that it's time to turn the page. It might come as like burnout, boredom, this quiet, uneasy feeling that whispers, there has to be more to this, or this isn't what I want. And that whisper, that's your soul asking for the new chapter. So you might ask yourself, how do I actually start this new chapter? I want to share with you a few tips that can help you go forward, not with fear, but with trust. So let's go through them one by one. Number one, give yourself permission to move on. I know that sounds simple, but it's often the hardest part. We spend so much time worrying about what other people are going to think, telling ourselves, should we stick it out, that we forget that we're allowed to change our minds. You don't owe anyone an explanation for wanting to grow. You're not being selfish for choosing peace over chaos. You're not being dramatic for wanting something different. You're just evolving as a person. Sometimes the most loving thing that you can do for yourself and everyone around you is to admit, this time or this season has served its purpose, and now it's time for something new. Give yourself permission to start again. Number two, reflect on what the last chapter has taught you. Before you rush into the next thing, pause, look back. What did the last season of your life teach you? Even if it was hard, even if you didn't go the way you'd hoped, there's always something you gained. There's always something you learned. Maybe it taught you resilience. Maybe it showed you what you don't want. Maybe it revealed strength you didn't know you had. Going back and reflecting, that helps you close the chapter with gratitude instead of resentment. And gratitude clears your heart so you can step forward freely. If you want, you should try journaling and writing down 3 things or 3 lessons from your last chapter. Things you want to carry forward and things you're ready to leave behind. Number 3, create space for the new. You can't start a new chapter if your life is still overflowing with the old one. That might mean physically clearing out space, cleaning out your closet, organizing your desk, deleting old emails, anything that keeps you tied to the past. But it might also mean emotional space, letting go of a relationship that no longer serves you, setting boundaries, or ending habits that no longer align with the person that you're trying to be. Creating space means sending the message to the universe that you're ready. It's like saying, okay, I've cleared the table. Now I'm open for what's next. Number 4, set an intention, not just a goal. Now, we did a Friday episode that was over setting meaningful intentions for the weekend. But now we're setting intentions for our lives. Goals are all about outcomes. Things like I want a better job. I want to move to a new city. Intentions go deeper. They're all about how you want to feel. Instead of saying I want to change my career, you might say, I want to wake up every morning feeling excited about what I do, feeling happy about what I do. Instead of saying I want a new relationship, say I want to attract love that feels safe and that's real. Intentions give your goals heart. They give it meaning. They remind you that this new chapter isn't about fixing your life, it's about aligning your life. And last but not least, number 5, trust the process. I know you hear that all the time, and I know that's a tough one. Because starting something new, it means you're giving up control. You can plan, you can prepare, but at some point you have to take a leap. And you have to trust that the ground is going to stand solid and then it's going to rise to meet you. When things don't go perfectly, remember, it's not failure, it's direction. Sometimes the detour is the path. You have to believe that everything is unfolding just like it's supposed to, just as it's meant to be, even if it doesn't make sense yet. Because when you look back later, you'll realize that it all fit together perfectly. You couldn't see the pattern from where you were standing, but you'll make it to the end. So maybe today's about making that huge decision. Maybe it's about recognizing that you do want to turn the page, and that's enough. Maybe it's about loosening up your grip on what's familiar and starting to believe that what's ahead might be even better. You don't have to have it all figured out. You don't have to rush. You just got to be open and you got to be ready. Because growth doesn't always start with a big leap. Sometimes it starts with a small whisper and it says, it's time. And if that's where you are right now, if you're feeling that nudge, that pull to something new, take a deep breath. Remind yourself, everything is working out in my favor. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, and I'm right on time. Thanks for spending time with me on Jam the Podcast. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who might be standing at their own crossroad. Someone who needs to be reminded that it's okay to move on, and it's okay to start again. And remember, every great story has many chapters. Don't be afraid to write your next one. As always, keep growing, keep trusting, and keep turning the page. If not, you might be jammed. Thanks for listening.